bicycles are not just making a comeback. They've been here. Well, how again do you now begin to see everybody moving towards bicycles? Because you have crashes, but it will not be like your regular vehicle crash.
But looking at our roads, although what I read in our history back then, the roads were constructed in such a way that there were lanes for bicycles.
Yes.
There were lanes for pedestrians. There were lanes for vehicles and the likes. But these days, bicycle lanes are no longer put into consideration. They are no longer there. So the bicycle, now talking about clean energy, and we are bringing in bicycle.
Yeah.
How do we achieve that? Today, we mark World Sustainable Transport Day, and it highlights a global truth. Mobility is not just about movement. It determines access to education, safety, opportunity, and social inclusion. In Nigeria, millions of children walk 5 to 10 kilometers to school daily, often on unsafe roads with high crash rates. The consequences are profound: late attendance, dropout risk, fatigue, and exposure to road injuries. Amolo, this is a sensitive topic.
I like the fact that I'm even an advocate of driving bicycles, because I have one in my house, and sometimes when I just pass, I like to admire it. I like to admire it because each time I remember this thing is a means of transportation.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's a healthy form of exercise, right? While you're moving from a place to place, you're staying healthy. You're staying fit. And these things, although the sad part of it is bicycles are now expensive. I remember once upon a time, I used to buy a typical bicycle for like 15,000 naira. Once upon a time, I think the last one I bought, when I priced it, I was paying 45,000. I was like, Somebody said that is even cheap. That was 70,000 naira bicycles. I was like, bicycle that once upon a time, people don't even revere it.
That was regarded as
it used to be a problem. Then growing up, we used to see people drive bicycles actually by one tapas. So you always doesn't really negate anything that has to be affluence. It's always one poor man or one teacher in his village who's trying to just move from one place to
headmasters
place. But bicycle has been here for years. And then to see that now that the world is talking about clean energy. Climate, this one, renewable energy, this sustainable energy, whatever it is you want to call it, this everybody's now transitioning away from fossil fuel. Bicycles are not just making a comeback. They've been here. Well, how again do you now begin to see everybody moving towards bicycles? Because you have crashes, but it will not be like your regular vehicle crash.
But looking at our roads, although what I read in our history back then, the roads were constructed in such a way that there were lanes for bicycles.
Yes.
There were lanes for pedestrians. There were lanes for vehicles and the likes. But these days in Nigeria, we are most African countries, let me not say every African countries because I've not been to all, we now see that even while the roads are being constructed, the need for bicycle
lanes,
bicycle lanes are no longer put into consideration. They are no longer there. So the bicycle, now talking about clean energy, and we are bringing in bicycle. How do we achieve that?
So I think it was an era, right, that changed the model. Our system of transportation had almost everything. But when we now transitioned to faster means of transportation, trains, vehicles, people started jettisoning things like bicycles, right? So because more people have moved away from what became a norm, people were now build for the decade, they build for the era, they build for the moment. It's if for example you're living in a place where there's dust all the time. If the kind of architectural building you would have will determine the area that you belong.
Okay.
So that is it. Since many of us have transitioned from faster, we're going to get for our destination faster, how do we get faster? That's what diminished bicycles, and then that also now led to the kind of lanes that we provided for. We did not cater for bicycles. But I think now that it's making a comeback, it will also be something that we considered.
And I really think our guests are going to
do justice to it.
To this topic. So in the second segment with our guests, Rotimi Aroge, I hope I pronounced that well, who is the Executive Director and founder of the GRA Empowerment Foundation, and Charlotte Ward, the Executive Director, Real Cycle, that's Bikes to Africa, are uniquely positioned for this discussion. Examines the intersection of sustainable transport, road safety, and youth empowerment by spotlighting the work of the GRA Empowerment Foundation and its partnership with Recycle UK through the groundbreaking Cycle to School Plus initiative, which is delivering 1,000 bicycles to Nigerian students. And that's the first program of its kind in the country. Alongside this, the foundation is leading the 2025 World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims Media Skit Competition, mobilizing students across Lagos to become road safety advocates and create community awareness. Hello, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Charlotte Ward. Rotimi, are you there?
I'm here. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
Yeah, good afternoon. How is UK this beautiful afternoon?
Yes, UK is cold and sunny at the same time.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay,
That's
the
good.
combo.
You know, they say ladies first, but sometimes we say ladies first after men. But ladies first. What,
All
to Charlotte Ward, I want to ask, what does the World Sustainable Transport Day represent, and why is it important for Nigeria to observe it?
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. It's great to meet you all. So I'm Charlotte Ward. I'm the director of the bicycle charity in the UK, Recycle Bikes to Africa, and we're partnering with the GRA Empowerment Foundation in Nigeria to support children to have access to sustainable transportation through the use of bicycles. So, with the role of what we do here at Recycle to support organisations to have access to sustainable transport. Obviously, World Sustainable Transport Day is a very important, integral day for the whole world, but also for us and what we do at our charity. It's very significant to be able to celebrate this and to have the opportunity to speak to people about the importance of sustainability in terms of transportation. Obviously, across the world, transportation is looked at very differently, and we have access to many different transportation options, but we're very much focused on the bicycle and how important the bicycle is to support the sustainability across the world. A bicycle is a cheap item. It doesn't require any fuel. It's easy to run. It has cheap components. So all in all, the bicycle is a great transportation answer to the issues that we have across the world with transport, and the fact that we're using a lot of fossil fuels with our cars and other transportation models. So the bike is a great opportunity for people to really celebrate, and that's what we're here today to talk about and support and encourage people to use.
All right, so stay with Charlotte. I'm sorry, Mr. Rotimi, because you probably feel a bit jealous. But Charlotte, explain to us your partnership with Recycle and GRA. What makes it unique because of this project that you're doing? What makes it so unique?
Yes, so this is, as you say, a really truly unique project. This is the first time Recycle Bikes to Africa have worked in Nigeria. We, as a charity, work in many different countries across Africa, and this is the first time, as I say, it's in Nigeria. So this is very exciting for us to be able to work with Rotimi and the GRA Empowerment Foundation. We are excited that this is a startup as well, so we can advise and guide and support with all of our knowledge and our experience that we've had in the last 28 years of being recycled, to be able to support the GRA Empowerment Foundation with their new model. And we're very much looking forward to developing that and working with this in the years to come.
Okay, yeah. Now to Rotimi. I love the fact that you understand the situation of children in Nigeria, children trekking, walking 5 to 10 kilometers before they get to school, the fatigue and all that. Now, this initiative, how do you see it helping the Nigerian child in terms of transportation?
Yes, it's a Hydra-headed initiative which was formed from a personal experience with accidents. Like I said from my previous interviews with many other media, my wife was in an accident at some point, and she escaped by the whisker. Over 100 people died in that accident in 2006 in Ikorodu. So that led me to this advocacy of trying to do something about road accidents. So it makes World Day of Remembrance of Accident Victim very dear to me personally. Every year, I always try to make this World Day of Remembrance as well as sustainable transportation thing I worked on. But I also was a part of those children who trekked many miles to school on foot. I grew up in Benin City. I went to private. I went to public school. I never went to any private school in my life, even till now. I went to private primary school in Benin City, Primary School, Primary School. All these places we trek. We trek to school long distance. Apart from trekking to go and hawk things and all that after school. So I can relate with the Nigerian child firsthand. So it was easier for us to connect with Recycle when we found them. And the idea of connecting these bicycles to accident prevention is also the United Nations agenda to make walking safe, to make cycling safe. We can see that on the net and part of what they are doing. So, but it comes in handy to see that reality on ground in Nigeria demands that urgent solution, and if in fact carefully created solutions need to be brought up. Before I came to the UK, my wife ran a school, like a private school, but it became a private venture. Eventually became an NGO because the students were from poor background in Ipaja, deep down in Ipaja, Yobo area of Lagos. Sometimes you look at Lagos, Lagos is too sophisticated. They are not poor people. Why don't you carry these bicycles to the villages or the rural areas? Come and see children walk many kilometers on foot in Lagos. People are coming from boundaries of Ogun State, even within the Lagos State, moving to school. You know, these secondary schools are already like last bus stop, the last hope of the common man.
Yes.
Last hope of the children who don't even have parents who can fund them. They don't have siblings who can fund them. But the funniest thing is that after government has provided the free education, thinking that they have done the best that they can do, you find out that logistics becomes even more important than even the free education. I learned that in the University of Sussex Business School with one particular case study. It's called the Aravine Eye Care System. And under this Aravine Eye Care System, blindness is a problem in India. And then this hospital thought like, let's give them free surgery, let's give them free everything, let them just come. They discovered that the people never came, the poor people never came. Then they now went further to look for why didn't they come? And they found out that it's because of transportation. Wow. So they now reworked the entire initiative to charge the rich people the premium, they are 25% of their premium customers, and then use the funds to provide logistics for the poor people. That was how that Aravine Eye Care System became a global initiative, which we have already also borrowed our own concept from. So we believe that providing transportation for these children who walk many kilometers from home to school is going to keep them on ground in school. It's going to do a lot. I know I might have deviated from the question. I can't even remember the question again. But I know this is just my brain.
Yeah.
So by creating this system of bringing these children from home to school, already a lot of students are already doing it. I heard of a case in government college in Kotsu when I was talking to one of their head teachers. He said his nephew comes from Ikola area of command area in Ipaja, and it comes to government technical college in Ikotun. And for 3 years, he was cycling to school and he has graduated. Just imagine what one bicycle could do for him. Now, he's not going to miss class. He's not going to miss assignment. He's not going to miss anything that has to do with school. He's going to be consistent because education needs consistency. If you are not consistent, you cannot be the best. Okay. And this is what...
Because at this point, you're going to tell us the whole story of everything. But tell us, this is a partnership with, Cycle to School and of course, Recycle UK. When did the partnership begin? And of course, what was the whole design for?
Yes. So, University of Sussex is a global university. University of Sussex in Brighton, England, and the University of Sussex. Let me tell you a little bit of University of Sussex. University of Sussex is number one for development studies globally. Why
What do I bad
Harvard
for
is
them?
number one? Wait, no, 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 no. That is exactly how it started. Why
Okay.
University of Harvard University is the number one for business. University of Sussex is number one for development. Before I even took that thing, before I even jackpot, my sister in that school told me that, bros, all of these things that you are doing, if you come to University of Sussex, they will help you develop it and bring it to the market. I chose that school intentionally. So when I got there, I became a part of their enterprise development group, and then I brought the idea of accident prevention. So they helped me to reveal the fact that this accident prevention is a government business. You cannot handle it. So I know that governments, they are not about to become for lack of words, I don't know, responsible to be able to now look at accident as one of the things that they will be focusing like that. You don't have a lot of things. There are no lanes. There are no bicycle lanes. There are no car lanes. Even cars, they don't have lanes. They just drive everyone zigzag. There are no data banks to capture a lot of stuff. So I needed to create a business around it, the accident prevention. Then I looked at, where do I look into? Pedestrians and cyclists. They are the most vulnerable. And those most vulnerable ones needs to be focused on, because that's what United Nations is talking about. Make walking safe, make cycling safe. So I now decided, okay, let's build bicycle operation around accident prevention. That is how we found Recycle. They were already there 28 years in Africa, and they never came to Nigeria. So I asked Charlotte Ward, why are you not in Nigeria? I said, they've not even thought about it, and they've not even found a partner. I said, yeah, I am, send me. And then they said, they don't deal with startups, they deal with established groups.
Okay.
And but however, they were impressed with the way the GRA has built the model, our plans, our all whatever. And they saw an institution behind us, that's the university and the innovation center in Brighton. So they came around, and then they felt like, okay, these ones have institutions around them. It probably be better to start with them. That's how they started the journey, and the journey has been very interesting. Charlotte has been to Nigeria twice, and I think she's in better position to share her experience about what she thinks about Nigeria.
Okay, yes. So to Charlotte, before we talk about your experience, Recycle UK and GRA Empowerment Foundation are collaborating to distribute 1,000 bicycles to Nigerian students. Now the question is, what is the model for this distribution? How will the children get it?
Yes, so as you say, we are sending 1,000 bikes to Nigeria. We've sent 500 already, and we'll be sending another 500 next year, early part of next year. Those have now arrived safely, those first 500, and Rotimi and his team on the ground are looking at distributing those bikes very shortly. Their model is very clear, and it's to be, ultimately to be supporting many children in the Alimosha region of Lagos, Nigeria, to have access to affordable, cheap transportation to be able to access school. And I'm sure Rotimi will be able to sort of advise and guide a bit more and speak a bit more about how that distribution model looks like and how that works.
Okay. During your engagements across African countries, because I mean, from what Rotimi said, you've been existing in these places before you came into Nigeria. What were the feedback that you got from schools and from pupils?
From other countries that we support with and other partners, very positive. We run cycle to school programs in our other partner countries. So, for example, in the Gambia and in Ghana and Sierra Leone, they're just a few of the countries we work in, and they run cycle to school projects or programs, and they have been doing so for many years, and they've all been very successful. We've seen the bikes being distributed to the children that most need it. They do an assessment before the children get the bikes to ensure that they're getting the right children access to these bikes, the ones that are travelling the most and the furthest to school. And then they get given the bikes along with some safety training to understand how to use the bike safely and to get to school safely. And we've seen over the course of a year that their attendance has increased. And as a consequence of their attendance increasing, they have done better at school and achieved higher grades. So therefore, they have achieved a lot more than they potentially would have done if they were continuing to walk to school. So we feel that the bikes have really made a huge impact in those countries that we currently work in, and we are very confident that that's going to be the same when we distribute these bikes in Nigeria. So that's why we're so excited about this project, and to work with Rotimi and his team. And to see the benefits that they're going to produce in the next coming months and years to enable students and school children to get to school and have that opportunity for an education.
Yeah, thank you very much, Charlotte. Now I want to ask, how has your experience been since you've been coming into Nigeria to do the bicycle, the recycle, the distribution of bicycles? Your experience generally in Nigeria, the reception and everything. How has it been?
It's been very positive. I've had, as Rotimi said, 2 great trips to Nigeria already this year, and the reception has been very, very positive. And you'll see on the screen now, doing some talks with the schools and meeting the Federal Road organisation, and yes, we're having some very, very productive meetings and conversations with people about what we plan to do and what we want to achieve. And everybody's been very supportive. And you can see the container there arriving at the site. On that container, said there's first 500 bikes on there. But overall, we've had a very positive experience, and I've had a very positive experience. Yes, there's work to do, and there's always work to do with this kind of new project. But I'm assured that Rotimi and his team on the ground will be able to successfully achieve what they want to achieve with the support of us going forward.
All right, thank you, Charlotte. Rotimi, Mr. Rotimi, I hear you talk about these things a lot, and I need you to walk us through it. You say this project meets about 10, if I'm not limiting it, SDG goals. Please explain.
Yes, the project actually meets a handful of the SDG goals. When you look at the star or the lead or the arrowhead of the SDGs goals that we work with, education, quality education, number 4. On the 17 SDG goals of the United Nations, number 4 is quality education. We're just talking about all of this revolve around education. And this particular Cycle to School Plus is an edu mobility product. I'm a product designer by virtue of what I studied in the University of Sussex. I did entrepreneurship and innovation. So Cycle to School is not a GROA's innovation. It is everywhere. Charlotte is doing Cycle to School elsewhere in other parts of Africa. And if you go to the internet, it's Cycle to School. But we have a plus to our own, which brings us to the point of building a community around a bicycle. A bicycle is tagged with a child. A child is connected to a bicycle, and that bicycle and the child are connected to a mentor, and that mentor, bicycle, and the child are connected to a supervisor, connected to a school. And then we also look at the way we connect them with external stakeholders like scholarship making bodies. When we have these children ride properly, we are making them leaders. They are teaching them leadership qualities. So in our part of the world, we don't care. We are not patriotic enough to even take care of things because we feel like it's not my own. It's not my father's property. But we're going to teach these children who we are going to be allocating this bicycle to, how to be good leaders, how to be careful, how to do this, how to do it yourself. We like to always, because labor is cheap in our part of the world, we want to make people do everything. Coming to the UK, I've so much changed in my experience with how we spend money and how we do things. Children should learn to do a lot of things by themselves, especially fix these bicycles yourself. To the extent to which you cannot fix it any further, you bring it to the workshop. So how to fix the chain, the brakes, the brake pads, the horn, different things we are going to teach these children. So they will be like a boss of their own, including being a master of the road. There's no way you can be cycling on the road with vehicles and don't understand driving basics, especially the theory. You, as a cyclist, you must know what the driver knows to an extent. Otherwise, if the driver is pointing the trafficator to the right, you don't go over the other side and go and overtake the driver. You say, doesn't he see you? All those kind of stuff we see in Nigeria. They have to learn all those things. That's what the road safety special marshal was saying, that training tomorrow's drivers today. That is what we meant. Because if these children who are going to be cycling with us today learn how to cycle on the road with vehicles, then tomorrow when they get into the driver's driving seat, they are the ones that will respect pedestrians and cyclists on the roads. They are the ones that will respect Okada and even motorcycle and also three-wheelers on the road. But here, the current situation, everybody who is in a bigger vehicle bullies the one with a smaller vehicle. A trailer will bully a bus will bully a tricycle will bully a motorcyclist. And like that, until accident happens and all that. That's exactly why we are also emphasizing these days of World Day of Remembrance of accident victims. A lot of accidents that happen, they didn't need to happen. They didn't need to happen. They're out of negligence, out of ignorance, out of road use illiteracy. And these things, when I came to the UK, I started looking at, when I look at the movie, my wife was telling me, that particular line, I saw a Nigerian movie and I found that the line was there. I said, it has always been there. We didn't know until we came here. And then we had to discover that line was there. Because up till as I speak, I've not gotten a driver's license because I have to go through driving all over again. And I've been driving as little as 16.
Okay, Rotimi, I want to add, I like the fact that you talked about the safety on the road. But looking at our Nigerian roads, there are no lanes for bicycles. And these children are being given. Do you think your organization and Recycle UK, do you put that into consideration when distributing these bikes to children? Do you think about how they will be able to use it? Consider, for instance, we have to use Lagos Road as an instance. A child riding bicycle between Ojota and K2 or from the island to the mainland, anyway, could be, would they be safe enough to use the roads, considering the fact that there are no bicycle lanes?
Yeah, that's a big question that even the entire time in this interview is not enough to demystify it. There's a myth that you have to have a dedicated lane, maybe dwarf wall for people to ride on bicycles. Maybe they are looking at countries like Netherlands, the ones that are really, really, really advanced in cycling. Some countries right now, they already have lanes, underground roads and lanes for bicycles. Those are luxury as far as I'm concerned. Here in the UK, it's an advanced Lagos. A lot of the roads here, it's an advanced Lagos. A lot of the roads here, we have double-decker buses on the same road. Residents are parking on both sides, bicycles and motorcycle and scooters. Everybody will use the road. So what makes the difference? The difference is road user behavior, not because the roads are dedicated. The roads that are laned here and are separated here in the UK, they're not up to 20% of the roads in the UK. And we have major roads that are even better. I'm telling you, are you talking about Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way? Even Allen, one side of Allen is so many of the roads we have here. Allen that is already divided into two with dwarf wall. We have already good infrastructure to an extent. Have we been able to maximize it? That is not the problem. The problem is the people. Road user behavior is the biggest problem we have in Nigeria, not the roads, not the lanes. The existing roads, how effectively have we used it? How effectively? Here, you see a lot of road users respecting the other road users. There's this vulnerability that they look at. They look at you, this man is vulnerable. Let me wait for him. Let me help him. Let me allow him. Let him go first. Because a vehicle is coming here, it will say, pam, 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 horn. Because he feels like if it was a car, you will run. Definitely you should run because he's a car and you are a motorcycle. That is wrong. Because it's difficult for him to start the cycle all over again. You that is sitting in a car, you calm down and let him pass. That's what we do. So where we need to start with on this cycle thing is the education of the road users.
All right, so so that you just continue on that thought, Mr. Rotimi. So what policy change needs to happen? Because the truth of the matter is, it's obvious many people get to learn about some of these things maybe when they buy the vehicle. How to use these vehicles, some people learn it when they get it, not before they get it. How do we need to begin to change the policy so that the problem does not meet the solution, or at least create the solution before the problem starts to emanate?
It's not even changing of the policy or no changing of the policy. We need the will. We need the will to get things done. We have enough policy already. We are very good at policy. We are so good at all these things.
Right.
I have been to National Council on Transport the National Council on Transportation. I've gotten to that point. I've gone to Abu Dhabi on World Addiction Conference just to change some policies concerning uses of drugs, substances in the motor park. If you don't find a place to get hard substances in Nigeria, you find it in the motor park. What you cannot even find in pharmacy, you find it in motor park.
Hey.
And that is that's the worst place to find such things.
Yes.
We don't have the will. It is the will that we need now. We need the will to power the things, the policies we already have. Now, for us and recycle, it's because we have the will. We have been frustrated enough. Getting those 500 bicycles into Nigeria, we are frustrated at the custom level. We are frustrated at everywhere, government level. Everywhere we are frustrated. Even the children that we want to give and their parents have frustrated us. But we just have the will. Honestly, people sit down at home. They feel like, oh, it's a national cake. They should come and we should come and even beg them to come and collect the bicycle. It's not going to happen. They are going to come into agreements. They're going to really dance to the policy we want to put on ground. This is not, we're not selling votes. We are not buying votes. It's not vote buying where we go and just share a bag of rice and do all of it. No. We are trying to change a whole generation with these bicycles. We're trying to change their narrative. We're trying to make them patriotic. We are trying to, what we have abroad, or all these places that we envy, they constructively, they intentionally did what they did, and everybody's turning out the way they are. It's not like it just happened. Recycle has really worked so hard on us, being their first startup model for other countries. They really work so hard, and we don't want to disappoint them. What is making them work with us is because they can see the transparency. They can see our ability to get these bicycles to the people who really need it. Let me tell you an example. We did a route survey from all the addresses we are giving, from house to school, all of them. Fine. We found out that they are 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers, 10 kilometers away that children have to walk or even transport if they have to do so. But we now found one school that has 3 kilometers for the farthest person. 3 kilometers for the farthest person. When we said we're looking for 5 kilometers or above, why should we give bicycles to people who walk 3 kilometers? Walking is good too. It's not a bad thing to walk. Yeah. But if you are walking too far, you will not be able to concentrate. You come late, you come dirty, you will be sick. And that's why I want to augment it, cut that journey time by half or by 75% so that the child can plow the remaining time into academics. So that particular school is already blacklisted, unless they can give us another set of children who live 5 to 10 kilometers away, and we will verify. Okay. We are going to verify.
All right. Thank you very much, Rotimi. Now, I want to ask Charlotte, what is the long-term vision? What long-term vision or plans do you have with Recycle? What is the long-term plan, vision with GRA Empowerment Foundation?
We have a very clear vision working with GRA Empowerment Foundation. Obviously, it's a startup. It's very new. We've only been working for the last sort of year together, but we want to be able to work with them to ensure that we can access as many schools as possible. First of all, in the Alamosa region, but also expanding out to different areas of Nigeria and Lagos, especially. And we've seen through the transparency and the integrity and also the work ethos that Rotimi has shown me since I've been working with him, that this is possible. We can achieve this. We want to build this partnership, make it bigger, make it stronger, and have more bikes coming into Nigeria over the coming years. We've got, say, another 500 coming next year, and then we'll be reviewing that, seeing how the bikes have impacted and helped the school children. And then once we've done that due diligence and done the evaluation, then we'll look at getting more bikes into the country to support even more children. So this could grow and grow and grow, and I really hope it will, and I'm sure it will, to be able to support the children that need them most. And it's a great pleasure to be working with Rotimi and the GRA Foundation and to help build this model, which hasn't been seen in Nigeria before. So we're very proud to be part of that and sort of pioneering it for other people to come.
Oh, thank you, Charlotte. So what final message do you have, or what message do you have for communities and students or schools who would be receiving these bicycles, I mean, this 500 or eventually 1,000 that are already in the country?
Yeah, I think the message is, these bikes are more than just sort of a mode of transportation. They're sort of tools for opportunity and empowerment and hope. And to the students, really, they'll open doors to new dreams and opportunities for them. And for the communities, they'll also sort of bring relief and safety and pride to see their young people and their young children moving confidently and to ensure that they can have a brighter future.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Rotimi, I mean, have you got final thoughts?
Yeah.
On the project?
Yes, I have final thoughts. You see, I don't want Charlotte to have that impression that our corporate entities are not really supportive of businesses in the country. She has expected by now that corporate organizations needed to have rallied around us, looking at our vision. We are not just bringing a vision or an initiative that doesn't have a root. This our initiative has been rooted in things that have been done in other African countries and has never been done in Nigeria. And by virtue of our ability to convince them to come to Nigeria, they have come. But eventually, only Recycle is really behind us. We are not seeing the big banks that always shout, oh, CSR, social corporate responsibility. We're not saying it. We're not saying they are not doing. They are doing. But this is also a very good one. We cannot say the whole Nigeria. We cannot have one big sponsor who will come in and say, let's work this together. But then if a politician comes now and says, come and give these people bicycles, they'll say, GRO is doing political, whatever. It's not sincere and all that. So because we don't want to get into that particular level, that's why we have not gone to mortgage these bicycles to one political person to use to buy votes and all that. We are saying the corporate entity should come. There are a lot of them that claim that they are doing CSRO in education and all that. So if there's any policy that needs to even change, is that policy or CSRO? Somebody should hold them accountable for those CSRO that they are claiming. A lot of times when they do CSRO and put report on their websites, go and check the people who those CSRO went to. Are they the people that really need those things, or the people who are already made? Those scholarships that they have given out, are they the children who really need the scholarship, or children of people who are connected to them? If there's any policy that needs to change now, that's it. But even if they change the policy, who is going to enforce?
Thank you very much, Rotimi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rotimi.
Thank you so much for your insight, and a very big thank you to Charlotte. Rotimi Aroge is the Executive Director and founder of the GRA Empowerment Foundation, and Charlotte Ward, she is the Executive Director, Recycle Bikes to Africa. So once again, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yeah.